Well, hello. Welcome to Regaining the Balance. I'm doing a little test live stream here. I'm going to try to do some actual readings of various books and things like that. And today, what we're going to talk about, or we're going to do a little quick introduction while I try to figure out this live streaming thing. And I apologize for the sound. I have to use my onboard computer for this, so I will get a better um, microphone hooked up. Anyways, I just wanted to say we're going to be taking a look at the Emerald Tablets of Thoth and just introducing some of these ideas here. So let's get to it. Oh, my cat just arrived. Okay, so the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Here we go. All right. Translation and interpretation by Dorial. A literal translation and interpretation of one of the most ancient and secret of the great works of the ancient wisdom. I'm going to skip the table of contents and just go straight to the preface. The history of the tablets translated in the following pages is strange and beyond the belief of modern scientists. Their antiquity is stupendous, dating back some 36,000 years BC. The writer is Thoth, an Atlantean priest king who found a colony in ancient Egypt after the sinking of the mother country. He was the builder of the Great Pyramid of Giza, erroneously attributed to Cheops. In it, he incorporated his knowledge of the ancient wisdom and also securely secreted records and instruments of ancient Atlantis. For some 16,000 years, he ruled the ancient race of Egypt from approximately 50,000 BC to 36,000 BC. At that time, the ancient barbarous race among which he and his followers had settled had been raised to a high degree of civilization. Thoth was an immortal, that is, he had conquered death, passing only when he willed, and even then not through death. His vast wisdom made him ruler over the various Atlantean colonies, including the ones in South and Central America. When the time came for him to leave Egypt, he erected the Great Pyramid over the entrance of the halls of Amenti, placed in it his records, and appointed guards for his secrets from among the highest of his people. In later times, the descendants of these guards became the pyramid priests, by which Thoth was deified as the god of wisdom, the recorder, by those in the age of darkness which followed his passing. In legend, the halls of Amenti became the underworld. The halls of gods where the soul passed after death for judgment. During later ages, the ego of Thoth passed into the bodies of men in the manner described in the tablets. As such, he incarnated 3 times, in his last being known as Hermes, the thrice-born. In this incarnation, he left the writings known to modern occultists as the Emerald Tablets, a later and far lesser exposition of the ancient mysteries. The tablets translated in this work are 10, which were left in the Great Pyramid in custody of the pyramid priests. The 10 are divided into 13 parts for the sake of convenience. The last 2 are so great and far-reaching in their import that at present it is forbidden to release them to the world at large. However, in those contained herein are secrets which will prove of inestimable value to the serious student. They should be read not once but 100 times, for only thus can the true meaning be revealed. A casual reading will give glimpses of beauty, but more intensive study will will offer, or I think he has a misspelling here, will often avenues of wisdom to the seeker. But now, a word as to how these mighty secrets came to be revealed to modern man after being hidden so long. Some 1300 years BC, Egypt, the ancient Kem, was in turmoil, and many delegations of priests were sent to other parts of the world. Among these were some of the pyramid priests who carried with them the emerald tablets as a talisman, by which they could exercise authority over the less advanced priestcraft of races descending from other Atlantean colonies. The tablets were understood from legend to give the bearer authority from Thoth. A particular group of priests bearing the tablets emigrated to South America, where they found a flourishing race, the Mayas, who remembered much of the ancient wisdom. Among these, the priests settled and remained. In the 10th century, the Mayas had thoroughly settled the Yucatan, and the tablets were placed beneath the altar of one of the great temples of the sun god. After the conquest of the Mayas by the Spaniards, the cities were abandoned and the treasures of the temple forgotten. It should be understood that the Great Pyramid of Egypt has been and still is a temple of initiation into the mysteries. Jesus, Solomon, Apollonius, and others were initiated there. The writer was instructed to recover and the writer who has a connection with the Great White Lodge, which also works through the pyramid priesthood. I have many videos about both of these subjects in the future. So the writer was instructed to recover and return to the Great Pyramid the ancient tablets. This, after adventures which need not be detailed here, was accomplished. Before returning them, he was given permission to translate and retain a copy of the wisdom engraved on the tablets. This was done in 1925, and only now has permission been given for a part to be published. It is expected that many will scoff, yet the true student will read between the lines and gain wisdom. The light is in you. The light which is engraved in these tablets will respond. Now, a word as to the material aspect of the tablets. They consist of 12 tablets of emerald green, formed from a substance created through alchemical transmutation. They are imperishable, resistant to all elements and substances. In effect, the atomic and cellular structure is fixed, no change ever taking place. In this respect, they violate the material law of ionization. Upon them are engraved characters in the ancient Atlantean language, characters which respond to attuned thought waves, releasing the associated mental vibration in the mind of the reader. The tablets are fastened together with hoops of gold-colored alloy suspended from a rod of the same material. So much for the material appearance. The wisdom contained therein is the foundation of the ancient mysteries, and for one who reads with open eyes and mind, his wisdom shall be increased 100-fold. Read, believe or not, but read, and the vibration found therein will awaken a response in your soul. In cosmic harmony, Dorial, supreme voice of the brotherhood. And then the official introduction to the original and interpretation of the Emerald Tablets. In the following pages, I will reveal some of the mysteries which as yet has only been touched upon lightly either by myself or other teachers or students of truth. Man's search for understanding of the laws which regulate his life has been unending, yet always just beyond the veil which shields the higher planes from material man's vision, the truth has existed, ready to be assimilated by those who enlarge their vision by turning inward, not outward, in their search. In the silence of material senses lies the key to unveiling of wisdom. He who talks does not know, he who knows does not talk. The highest knowledge is unutterable, for it exists as an entity in lanes which transcend all material words or symbols. All symbols are but keys to doors leading to truths, and many times the door is not opened because the key seems so great that the things which are beyond it are not visible. If we can understand that all keys, all material symbols are manifestations, are but extensions of a great law and truth, we will begin to develop the vision which will enable us to penetrate beyond the veil. All things in all universes move according to law, and the law which regulates the movement of the planets is no more immutable than the law which regulates the material expressions of man. One of the greatest of all cosmic laws is that which is responsible for the formation of man as a material being. The great aim at the very mystery schools of all ages has been to reveal the workings of the law which connect man, the material, and man, the spiritual. The connecting link between the material man and the spiritual man is the intellectual man, for the mind partakes of both, and the material and immaterial qualities. The aspirant or higher knowledge must develop an intellectual side of his nature and so strengthen his will that it is able to concentrate all powers of his being on and in the plane he desires. The great search for light, life, and love only begins on the material plane. Carried to its ultimate, its final goal is complete oneness with universal consciousness. The foundation in the material is the first step, then comes the higher goal of spiritual attainment. In the following pages, I will give an interpretation of the Emerald Tablets and their secret, hidden, and esoteric meanings. Concealed in the words of Thoth are many meanings that do not appear on the surface. Light of knowledge brought to bear upon the tablets will open many new fields for thought. Quote, read and be wise, unquote, but only if the light of your own consciousness awakens the deep-seated understanding which is an inherent quality of the soul. A threefold light, Dorial. So, this will be video 1 on the Tablets of Thoth. I'm going to create a playlist with all the recordings for all the different chapters, or I should say all the different tablets here. As you can see, there are 13 tablets to look at and a couple of supplementary tablets. Um, I've already read these a few times, and I can tell you that there is some impressive information here, especially with the advent of quantum physics and some of the things that that kind of science has shown. Um, this really matches up with some of this ancient stuff. And on top of that, a lot of what people call New Age really seems to be Old Age, and it's repackaged by a bunch of people. Some of them good, some of them scammers, and that's just the way all religion and all spiritual type of things are. You'll have both always, because I mean that's the nature of duality in a place that has nothing but duality in it. So keep that in mind. And, don't bring any preconceived notions about who you think Thoth is or Hermes Trismegistus. We're also going to be looking at the Corpus Hermeticum as well. I'll be reading out of that too to show you guys the similarities between these two documents. And also the similarities between this and so many other spiritual thought throughout the history of humankind. And that'll be part of this channel, is to expand our understanding of what spiritual wisdom really is, and where it comes from, and how you can find the same archetypes in all places all over the world. And even though religions might seem different in the base form of them, they really are very much the same. So thank you for joining me today on regaining the balance, and I will see you the next time. Um, Either reading another tablet of Thoth, or one of my other videos about alternative history. Peace be to all of you people out there. And if you want to support the channel, then feel free to click down at in our description box where we have our PayPal and our Patreon accounts. Anything helps, especially when it comes to the translations of documents from the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th centuries, which I am currently in the process of doing. So thanks again for joining, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, God damn it.